All right. Live, live, live. Sound looks good. How's the audio, DHS and Moose there? I see you guys are already in the channel. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Um, we're going to have a little fun. As you probably are already aware, if you're an Ardbeg fan, and I've been for a couple of years now, and it's funny because I've got a shrine back here you could probably see, starting with the core, the 10, the Airigh, and the Ugadal, the Ano, and then you go into like some NASs, like the well, not all of them are NASs because some of them actually do have years, but the Ardbeg, Kildalton, Perpetuum, Dark Cove, Kelpie, Grooves, and I even got a couple community releases for those back there too. But I've officially ran out of room on my shelf. I had this Auriverdes back there for quite a while, and I never opened it. And the weird thing is, I'm not quite sure why, other than I've been really fixed on trying to try a bunch of distilleries all around Scotland. And on the voyage, I kind of, since I started in Islay, I started with Ardbeg and Laphroaig and Lagavulin and those guys. After branching out, it's been a while since I've actually tasted Ardbeg, sadly. I love the Dark Cove community release is probably my favorite whiskey. It's hard to say of all time because of the age is not really there probably, but there's got to be some old stuff in that. It's so good. It's definitely top 3 of all time whiskey, but for sure. And probably my favorite Ardbeg offering. But the last 2 have been great. The Kelpie had the Black Sea casks and had a really interesting German like breakfast taste to it, like the Spätzle and pretzels and mustard, and it just really was good. And then the Grooves was really tasty as well. It had the charred, the really overly charred oaky tropical fruit thing going on, which I'm surprised that with this release, it kind of reminds me of a similar profile, which, I mean, I've never had a rum influenced cask, and I have had like a bunch of different sherries, like Amontillado and Manzanilla, and I've had lots of different cask type port casks and sherry, of course, red wine, all sorts of different types. But rum I haven't tried, but I figured I got my hands on the tasty new, hopefully tasty Ardbeg Drum. I did sneak a couple sips in there. I don't want to give it away to get past the neck pour. And same thing with the Auriverdes. Auriverdes is an older offering that I believe was from 20. I got a couple notes on this side over here. I think it was 2016. I'm sorry, 2014. Wow, that's been a ways back. 2014 May Isla Festival. Festival for people that regularly attend will know it by that name. Also known as the Isla Festival of Music. But Festival is a lot easier to say if you know. Oh, wow. Lots of people stopping by. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate the support. And going to hit that drum. That's right. Oh, Mom, did she make it? I don't know if Mom's here. I don't see her here yet. Maybe she'll pop by. Oh, Tom wants me to hit the drum for you. It has to go. All right. Well, let's do that first. But I just want to give an intro of how we got where we are. And I'm a huge fan of Ardbeg, no matter how I rate this or judge it. It's hard for them to do bad in my eyes. The Select by Laphroaig was a letdown to me, but Ardbeg really, I mean, the 10 doesn't really do much for me because I'm not a really big lemon lime fan. So the core 10 is okay, but everyone else I've really got into just because it has more flavor to it. Not to knock the core juice, I do like it, but the lemon lime, Oh, I'm so glad I let this sit out longer. Now, the funny thing about this being an Ardbeg is that when you think Laphroaig and Ardbeg, you think PPM, PD, in your face, pow, a punch. Now, I will say, and you know, partially I have been letting it sit out for a while, but my initial nose, even when I first popped the bottle, it's the peat's there, but it's not a heavily, to me, a heavily peated dram. It just doesn't have that typical Ardbeg punch. And I'm comparing it to like Dark Cove, Kelpie, Grooves, that kind of thing. It's definitely a lighter peat on the nose. And you really do get a boatload of fruit. I mean, if you are a Highland / Speyside guy, I think this might be a good entry to Ardbeg for you if you get your hands on either. I mean, committee releases are really tough because they come out in March. The real stuff to the general public comes out in June, I believe, early June 1st, and that's like typically Ardbeg Day is a really early part of June, June 1st. And this year it's June 1st, 2019. The drum regular release will come out. Now, it reminds me of a Balvenie. It really does. It's got that Caribbean cask vibe to it, which makes sense, you know. I think that's a rum cask. I mean, it's called the Caribbean cask, so I would think that it's a rum cask. Maybe I have had a rum cask, not even realized it, but thinking about it that way. Tom says he likes to think of it as Caribbean island peat and chill, relax. Yeah, it's very subtle. It's kind of one of those things where, for me, I like assertive punch in the face. So for me, the nose is not bad. I mean, I get like almost like even some confection sugar marshmallow, some like honey. I mean, it's got more of a floral, fruity nose than a peaty Ardbeg typical nose. That kind of throws me off a little bit. The color is extremely light, which I'm not going to knock because I appreciate them going all natural on this. I really doubt they would put any color in this at all. And I'd just be really surprised. So I gotta give them praise for doing that. Compared to just to show you a comparison, this is the Auriverdes and this is the drum. You could tell how, you know, just next to each other, how lighter in overall color this is. I think it's probably hard in the lighting to gauge, but make sure I put that right behind the right bottle there. This is neat. 52%. 52 is hearty. It's definitely got a little burn to it, but it's not bad. It is drinkable neat. I do think I would prefer it with a very minimal, and I mean like a couple of drops of water. Get it to about 50, 51, somewhere around there maybe. That's a guess. But first impression is that this is not a typical Ardbeg to me at all. And I'm not saying that it's bad. I do like the taste of it. It reminds me a lot of a Balvenie with a little peat in it. It's kind of funny. It doesn't have a lot of smoke going on. I do get the peat, but I'm so used to drinking things like the Auriverdes or the Ugadal or, you know, things like that. And even the Ano has a real ashy, ashtray, minty, sweet flavor. This is got the peat, but it's so subtle. It's a pleasant drink. It does have a really one thing I will give it a lot of praise for. It has one of the best oily, buttery coats on the mouth I think I've ever had. So even though it's not the Ardbeg I know, it's got some differences that make it interesting still, and you know, it's young. I can tell how young it is, but I don't know. There's something. It's funny. There's something young and new about it, and there's something kind of old about it too. It must be a mix of I'm not sure what type of. All I know is they have ex bourbon and finished in ex rum casks, but I'm not sure if age wise where this falls. I'm thinking it's going to be a younger whiskey, unfortunately, but um, excuse me, it's definitely more or less. I'm thinking around 7 to 8 years max. I'm thinking most is saying it might be a combination of the Caribbean cask and the 14 week. I would agree with you without the age. It's like a younger version if you took the Caribbean rum cask of 14 in the week 14 year and put it in a 7, maybe took like, which, for the P, you would think it would be more in your face, robust, like pow, assertive, but it just does. It's not there. And I'm debating, like, it's not a bad dram. It's a little dry on the finish for me. The weird thing is, it does have some really nice, like, tropical pineapples. It's got a little coconut, roasted coconut too. It's even got some, like, distant, I want to say, like a milky vanilla kind of flavor going on. I mean, it is complex, but it's so light. Even not just the color, but the light. It's a light, like, it's very like a summer dram, I guess. I guess maybe Ardbeg was thinking, let's try to come up with something that's not so heavy, not so made for fall and winter. Let's try to come up with something a little lighter, a little more summer going, that kind of thing. So, sorry, let me. I'll show the comment there. DHS is posting. Trooper says he just bought an NO for the today. What did you think about that one, Telex? The NO I like, but it's definitely a lot different than any other Ardbeg I've ever had. That one has a lot of sweetness in it. It's got a lot of mint flavor to me, and it has a lot of ash, like really white ashtray kind of a taste. I like it though. Some people don't get it because I think it's overly maybe sweet to them. I enjoyed it though. I think I would give it a 4 out of 5 if I was grading, 0.25 increments. I'm thinking that the NO is about that. I think it runs about 70 here in America. He's talking about 115 Canadian. That sounds about right. I'm guessing. I don't know the exchange rate right now, but I enjoy it. The only Ardbeg I don't really get into much is the straightforward 10. I think only because of that lemon lime assertive, like, really citrusy thing. Now this has got a little. No, this is more tropical. This is. I'm thinking about this other guy. We'll get to that one in a second, but. Genesis was okay, a little flat compared to the rest of the core range. Like, to me, if I'm rating the core, I think it goes 10, NO, Auriverdes, Uigeadail. That's the way I rate the core. That's just me, my preference, my palate deal. I mean, Auriverdes and Uigeadail are just freaking fantastic. I hope to God they never run out of those juices. Now, this guy is very pleasant. I wish there was a little bit more on the finish. It does have that really nice buttery mouth coat, reminiscent of Kleinlich. It's heavier on the, so don't let the color and age really fool you. I'm sure the cask strength aspect helps that a lot. Let's have a little water. I could sit there and drink that neat all day, but whoa, we need to have a little bit of Iska. I mean, a couple drops. That was probably a little too much, but I have had it both already neat and with water. So if it's a little bit too much, I still can give it a fair go. I don't think it was too much though. Being 52% got a little bit of a leeway there. DHS says he just wants Corey's price to start changing. Usually the Corey Vrecken I see anywhere from 90 to 110. That's the range on the Corey Vrecken in Maryland, at least, that I see. DHS Stephen, he sent you the email earlier. If let me scroll up for you and tell you where it was. I think it's still up here somewhere. DHS. Oh, it's Dustin. Go up, scroll up a little bit, Stephen, and look at Dustin _ Silvestri at gmail.com. There you go. Oh, he shot you an email. Never mind. 70 to 100. Wow, 70 is low as hell for the Corey Vrecken. If you see it for 70, you need to snatch it. 90 to 110 is what I usually see. Scotch for Dummies, good to see you guys. Congratulations on the Macallan number 6, man. I couldn't even imagine even touching that bottle, more or less. I mean, I'm not sure what my odds are getting a little sample, but I hope to God it's pretty good because I'd love to try it. How many bottles, man? It was up to 100, I think, somewhere around there. Let me count real fast if I can. 10, 15, 20, 30, 40. Yeah, there's got to be. I think when I did a count, it was close to 100, somewhere around there. Hey, guys, thanks to you, I hit 100 scrubs, so let to see you 7 p.m. Saturday night from my first ever live stream. All right, Whiskey Explorer, you're very good at promoting. I'll give you that. It took me like 2 years to get 200 and something people, so congratulations. Corey is $69 in California, man. That is insanely cheap. You're so freaking lucky, Dram. I tell you, man. Yeah, I've changed things around. I put my Kilkerrans over there. I'm about to move things tremendously around because I'm trying to put one of every distillery up in the basement here. I've got a couple shelves down this way you guys can't see at all, and some lower ones down here that you can't see. But it's gonna look good, I think, when I'm done. I've got a little ways to go though, but I'm more than halfway there at least. So that's the good part. Let me get back to the yellow dram here. Still pleasant palate. Definitely didn't overwater it. Still got some strength. Getting like more of banana. Very like intense banana on the nose. It's getting more into the savory sense to it. Florals are still there. Huh. Getting like some more of like a custardy kind of like thicker smell. It is easy to drink. It's not off-putting. It does. I mean, I like a sweet dram. To me, it's not overly sweet. Not even close though. This is more that peat. I think it actually gets a little more intense with a couple of drops of water, believe it or not. It's insane to say that, but I think the earthiness, the savory earthiness comes through once you put a couple drops on it. So that actually made it better. The oiliness is still there. I love that sugar cookie, vanilla, wafery kind of finish. Still a little dry, but not bad. Before I put the water on, I was only going to give it like a 3.75 out of 5. But with the water and I love that vanilla banana custardy flavor that's coming in after the water. That's helped a lot, probably because of the rum casting. The rum cast to me is very faint, very subtle. as is the peat. And then that's what kind of threw me off at first trying this, because I'm used to, like, when I tried the grooves and the Kelpie, it was like, pow! I mean, it was like, just like right away. There was no, the flavor was in your face. This is more of a gradual buildup of flavor, and it takes a lot more time, I think, to appreciate all the little nuances in the dram. So, with that said, I'm thinking at least a 4 with the water. It's a tough one. I'm missing some things that I wish it had a little bit of that sherry note. I wish it had more of some red fruits to kind of like make it even more balanced or more age or something. That's why it's hard for me to go above a 4 out of 5 on it. It really is. Not bad at all. It's for people that like I said, the Highlands and Speysides more than Islay. They'll probably like this if they can stand the peat. I mean, the peat's there. So, hey, Ben, good to see you. And Gawkin, too. Wow. Kilhomas and egg. Oh, good choice. Yeah, I've got that the box back here. I remember that was a spicy, savory type of Longmore 16 almost kind of a dram. I liked it, though. You had to be in the mood for it, but which whiskey shops do I like in Maryland? My favorites are Petite Cellars in Ellicott City. I like Piney Orchard, which is also in the same kind of area. I also like Dawson Liquors here in Severna Park. I like Port Tack, which is also here. Harbor Spirits has a smaller selection, but it's really close, so it's convenient. Trying to think, but usually I go to Petite Cellars as my go-to place in Maryland. They have the best overall options to pick from. I know the people there really well. I usually buy there, so they treat me extremely well. And always, like, anytime there's something that's new or coming or something I should be interested in that's going away, news, like Tom Bender that runs the show there, he's the one that told me about the exclusive malts getting bought out by the Japanese company back in several months ago, and told me that, if you're going to get any exclusive malt bottlings, you better jump on them soon, because they're not going to be around probably terribly a lot longer, because usually the Japanese distilleries that do that, they don't buy it and then put it out to the American market. Usually they buy it and then put it out to more of a local thing first, at least. So thanks a lot, Dram. Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for stopping by. Not bad, but I wish it was like a 4 or 5 so bad. It's getting better with time, though. I will say that. My first dram and first experience was only like a 3.5 to 3.75. This one's a 4. Maybe, when I get a little bit farther down the bottle, maybe I'll give it a 4.5, 4.75. But I don't know. I think it's just needing some other things to make it even better. Yeah, that's my favorite go-to place there, Christopher. All right, let's go on to the next dram. Let's have a little palate cleanser first. I got chips back here. What you guys drinking? I'm just curious. He's got a 3-year-old deluxe. Ooh. Did you get that from Petite? Probably. They have a really good Compass Box offerings. They have Phenomenology, I think, and still they got a lot of good bottles that it's funny. I've been sticking to single malts so much. I'm afraid to open up my collection to Compass Box, because I could probably throw a whole shelf alone of Compass Box, just 2 or 3, this way. Quarter cask Telex. What about the quarter cask there, Trooper? I do love it. It's one of my favorites. If you're talking about Lefroy. Yeah, that Stranger and Stranger, that new one. I've had a buddy that just got their hands on that recently. I never tried that one. Steven says not drinking tonight, so mediocre. Oh, on some medicine doesn't make. Oh, I don't blame you, Steven. I still have the Glendronix back here, Steven. I think that's going to be in my next show. It might not draw a whole bunch of people. That's okay. I still want to sit down and enjoy a couple Glendronix. So I'll be doing that, I think, next week if you can make it. I hope so. If you can't, let me know, and I'll try to postpone it. But that's my hope, is to bust those open and really sit down and enjoy those two. Oh, I had a PX cask last week. Both, yeah, the quarter cask and the PX cask. I love both of those. PX is one of my favorites. I love a good sweet sherry mix with the peat. I think it's fantastic. He's got Glendronix 18 today. Wow, that's a great bottle. I'm envious. I need to get my hands on the new 15. I had a tasting of it. It's good. I need to get my own bottle of it. I've got the 12 and the 8 and the cask strength batch 7 and the 1821. But I need to get my own bottle of that. Pikesville Ryan Glass. Good to see you, Strats. I'm not sure if you've been around here before, but thank you for stopping by, and I appreciate your support. Please give me a thumbs up if you've had fun before you leave. I really appreciate it. Those 24 and 25s are great. I'll make it. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say those are just. I'm just looking at the bottles, just like drooling, just thinking about it. But I want to give it its proper deal. All right, let's take a look at this baby. This is the 2014. Let me get rid of this drum stuff here. We're going classic. We're going 2014 May 31st to Shield. And this was a special bottle that was the Auriverdes is because of the green and gold colors of Brazil. And supplies are very limited of this supposedly, but I know where I can get a lot of this, surprisingly. Still, even today, thankfully. I mean, Ardbeg has a hell of a marketing thing. They go crazy on their boxes. I kind of like it, but anyway, let's go back to the actual cask thing. They don't really talk about the cask type. I don't know if does anyone know what casks they used for the Auriverdes? I'm kind of curious. All I know is it doesn't do as well typically with the NASs from Ardbeg, kind of like the Perpetuum. That one is kind of like the redheaded stepchild that I see it like, it'll sell, but if you ever go to a liquor store and you still see any old committee release / limited releases, it'll typically be the Perpetuum that you see, or the Auriverdes. Those are the ones I still see even today. Before I'll run into a Dark Cove, which came after this a year later, 2015. Both the Perpetuum and the Dark Cove, I think, were on that area. Kelpie being 16, Grease being 17. I think that's how it worked. Or maybe I'm a year behind. Either way, but you get the idea. Color on this sucker is a little darker. I'm not sure if I don't think they're big on coloring, so I doubt that they would bother with that. It's a nice, strong gold color, and I'm just looking to see if there's anything talking about the cask on the box. I don't see anything. Just the fact that they won 10-year Whiskey of the Year in 2008. Uigeadail won World Whiskey of the Year in 2009, and Supernova was World Scotch of the Year in 2010. That's one I still need to get my hands on, is the Supernova. Any form I can get, I would be like so thankful. Ardbeg only does 2 NESs, right? 10 and 20 something. 2 non-NESs, that is. The only non-NESs they have are the 10. They had a 17. They had a 21 and a 20-something, which is 23 years. Those are the 4 that I know of. Yeah. One of them, I can't remember if it was the 21 or the 17, did not do very well. It was an older one from like the 90s, I think. So that one you might want to be careful of. But yeah, they don't really do a whole lot of aged. It's kind of like, Lefroy does the same thing. They used to have the 15 and the 18. Now they just have the 10 and a bunch of, carriages slash NAS stuff. And it's like, I'm hoping it's just the fact that they need to let their stuff age like 5, 10 more years, and they'll have a boatload of like 15s and 18s and 21s again. 20 something has multiple releases with different ages. Yeah, as I was thinking, the 20 something I've seen is a 23, but I think that's what they call it 20 something because it could be a 23 or 22 or whatever. But the solid years are definitely 21, 17, and 10. But the 21 and 17 are extremely tough to find. You'd have to spend like a boatload of money and probably get an older bottle that I remember. Yep, they had the Lefroy 15 damn shame they stopped that. Yeah, the 18 I do have over there. And the 18 is one of the best scotches I've ever had. It's my favorite. I've actually tasted the 27 Lefroy, the 32, and I think this was 20. I'm trying to remember 25, 27, and 30. I think it was the 3 that I actually had. And I still like the 18 better because the peak dies, I think, after the 18th year. It just isn't there anymore enough for me to like it as much. So, I'm sure there's, nuances about the older ones that people get into maybe more, but I'm just not there yet. I haven't been able to sniff that out. And for that kind of money, it better stand out really, really well for me to be able to do that. Yeah, for the 18 Lefroy, I found it for 90. That's why I went ahead and got a couple bottles of that because it was extremely cheap compared to now. I see it go for $300 to $400, believe it or not. Yeah, they did it at 15 back in the day. All right, let's look at this Auriverdes. Ooh. Now now I'm getting that smoky peat that I want, that I didn't get from the drum. And I'm getting a lot of citrus notes on the nose. Oranges, tangerines, lemons, of course. It's like island fruit without the Caribbean thing. It's like island, more like island, like I don't know, like this picture like this gigantic island in Georgia that's got all the oranges and peaches and tangerines and those medium level fruits that you want. Oh, that smoky peat's still there with it. Now that's more of a nose that I'm looking for, I think. This is neat as well. And this is a popping 49.9, so you might as well say 50 ABV, which Ardbeg gets kudos for that, because typically for these types of limited releases, I think this is one of the very first ones next to like the Alligator Galileo kind of thing that they did. But they went down to 46 typically for their limited releases, like, recently. The older ones had that nice 50 ish ABV, which I really, really enjoy. Yeah, the 22 and 23 are a little out of most people's price range, unfortunately. DHS, I'm in the same boat. I have tasted it only because I had a really, really good friend that was willing to let me have a sample. And it was one of the best scotches I've ever had. And that's funny, when I was trying to think of something to compare the Dark Code Committee release to, which is probably my number 2, the Ardbeg 20-something, which the one I had was a 23-year-old, I'm pretty sure. that one was the best Scotch I have ever had, bar none. Really close to the Bruichladdich Black Arts 4.1. I think it was 4.0, 4.1. One was a 5.1. That was 4.0. That one is top notch as well. But they're all $300 or $400. You know, $500 is crazy. It's just I never had a bottle of that stuff. Any of those three, I've only had. Well, this one was a lot easier to get because it was cheaper when it got first released. But yeah, after 300, I'm generally out myself too on that one. Oh my, love it. Smoky, smoky, peaty. Still, peat's not as heavy, but the smoke is there. I'm getting really good milk chocolate notes, roasted coffee, like a barista roasted coffee deal, frappuccino kind of thing. I love the balance of the sweetness and savory notes with this one compared to the drum. The age might have a little extra going for it. Steve was saying that the ex-bourbon barrels are exclusively with Auriverdes. However, they did toast the barrel heads. Yeah, that's the thing I thought I was reading about, was they did something with the top of the barrels to, like, I'm not sure if they charred it or how they did that, but I can't find it now. But I remember reading about something to do with that extra roast. That's, I guess, where I'm getting that roasted coffee flavor from. I really like it. Looks like Auriverdes is matured in second fill American oak with one head toasted light and one toasted dark. That is interesting. That makes sense. I mean, the ex-bourbon barrels is the same as the second fill American oak. Makes sense. That's a nice color they got on it. I'm not sure. It does taste older than the drum. I'm not sure if the color is deceiving me, but I'm thinking the drum is probably 6, 7 years. This to me is more of a 8 or 9 year old. And the cool thing about it is, even though it's second fill, it doesn't lose. I mean, it's not a woody dram. It doesn't have that oaky character. And I'm actually glad, because I'm not a big fan of the like the triple woods and the ones that are extremely wood all over the place. That's not my thing. So I'm actually glad it's more of a peaty, smoky, citrusy, mocha-y, chocolate, coffee kind of flavor going on. Thanks, Trooper. I really appreciate it, man. I know it's late for you guys. I really appreciate you sticking around when you can. And it's funny because it's not. This is definitely more savory than the drum, because that chocolatey tone is got some slight bitterness, but not bitter bad, bitter good. It's very. I think it's definitely more well balanced to me. Just my palate. I just love Ardbeg. Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to. I hope you guys didn't think I knocked on that one. I wasn't really knocking it. It's just, I'm just talking from what I like and what I get into. It's just night and day difference when it comes to the smokiness that I really enjoy from these other ones compared to that newer drum. I think they were afraid. I think they probably were thinking, well, if we put a little smoke in this or too much smoke, we're going to overwhelm the rum and that Caribbean, fruit flavor they were going for. They do have it, but to me, it's like if I just want that, I'll go buy the Balvenie 14 Caribbean cask and maybe mix it with a little bit of a peat. Like someone said, the Balvenie 14 peat week, blend those two together. Hell, I could get something better that way. So yeah, the rum casks don't add any savoriness, that's for sure. Most as a little chocolate malt in the Ardbeg Drum might have worked with rum casks. Yeah, that's what I think. It's funny. I think if you put a little bit of the Auriverdes with the drum, it probably would really help it out. Let's see. I got a little bit of the drum left here. It's like a little bit of a taste. I've got a lot of the Auriverdes. Let's put just a little bit of a splash. Not much, because I know the smoke will overkill it. Let's just see if that, because I like to do my own blends a lot. I know it's kind of crazy sometimes if you're spending a lot on whiskey and you're thinking, well, if you're a purist, you want it to be but once you've had it, and if you're like if it's not doing enough for you, don't be afraid to put a little something else with it. A good example is I got the Bunnahabhain Choichek, which is a peated Bunnahabhain, and it's not bad. It's just one note to me. It's very peaty, Lagavulin 8 kind of feel to it. It's a good breakfast dram, but other than just the peat and maybe some fruit notes, I didn't really get a whole lot out of it. But if I mixed it with something that had a little sherry, or even just a couple of drops of actual sherry in it, it would bring it more life. It made it more complex, and it definitely, gave me a better feel at it. Had a chance to get the Ardbeg Drum CR, but chose not to because of the Mumcast finishing. I'm a bit close-minded on Mumcast. Yeah, Strats, you're not alone there. A lot of people were hesitant because they don't really like it. Eric Waite recently reviewed it and said that he doesn't normally like it, but he liked that one a lot. And like I said, if you're a Highland Speyside person and you like a little peat, but you don't really like it, and you just want a little dab of peat in it, the drum, I think, would be a perfect intro. And maybe that's why they did it that way. It's not overly rummy. It's not. It definitely didn't overtake the dram. I just wish they added a little more smoke to it. That's the only thing missing, I think, from the deal, or maybe some age, of course. But the drum, I think, is good. It's definitely B plus, but it just needs that smoke, man. I need something. Yeah, if the Caribbean 14 is not for you, you're not gonna like the drum. I'm just telling you. It's a lot like it with a little peat in it. It's very similar. Steven says he loves the higher proof and older Balvenie. Not a fan of the Caribbean cask. Favorite rum cask whiskey is the Kavalan. Ooh, I haven't had the Kavalan's reserve rum. I have to try that sometime. I have had the Vino Baroque one at a tasting. It was really good. Had a sample of it at a different time as well. Pretty good. And but I think that's the only Kavalan I've actually had. I try to stay away from branching out of Scotch too much because I'll be freaking just going crazy and collecting. It's hard enough just to collect the Scotch. So, all right, let's try this out. We've let it sit for a bit. I think it needs a little bit more, maybe half and half parts. We shall see. That's better. 50-50. I usually try to do 70-30 or 80-20 to be safe on first parts when I do blend. If it's not enough, then I'll go a little bit higher, 60-40. 50-50 is where this actually, I think, worked out. It's just really tough. I think the rum taste is such a subtle thing that it does get blown out by the smoke. And I think it's where it's tough when you are known for having a peaty, smoky whiskey like Ardbeg, and you decide to do a rum cask. It's like port. No one ever does port very well. Port casks usually suck. I've rarely ever had a decent port cask whiskey. I have a bad feeling, with the exception of the Balvenie Caribbean Cask 14, that it might be tough for me to get into a rum cask. I think it needs to be a subtle whiskey that just needs a lot of fruit flavor. And, that's just, I think, the way it goes. But Stress says he figures he could get a Corey and Airigh for the price of one drum. Yeah, you definitely could. I mean, unless you're lucky enough to find it for 120, which this time was tough. Could not find it for 120. Had to go a little higher than that. So you definitely get a bottle of Corey and a bottle of Airigh for the price they're trying to sell for this drum. That's for sure. Not too happy about that either. 21 port was good. Yeah, I can imagine. That's one that I have not had. I had a 17 double wood. I did like that a lot. I got to try the port 21. I don't think I've had that one yet. I'm trying to remember. To go back through my notes and see if I'm not sure if I've had that one yet or not. I've had a lot of Balvenies, but I'm not sure if I've had that one. Port 21 you would think would be good just for the fact that it's 21 years old, and the port is like a bonus chip. The Amaranth Bengal Tiger, yeah, is very good. That's true. That was very good. God, I wish I still had some of that left. I think I killed that one. Let me see. Oh. Yeah, that sucker is gone. Oh my Lord, that was very well done. But see, I don't think of Amaranth usually because it's an Indian distillery. That's not a Scotch, so that's why I'm talking about, like, I think it's hard for any Scotch distilleries to do a good port, a port whiskey. Peated port, even, that's even worse. Like Lindronic's peated port, I didn't like it that much. I had to let it sit out for 45 minutes, and it still was kind of like a B-. It was close to a C. It was kind of like, just the finish was just non-existent too. It was kind of rough. Yeah, Vegas agreed at 21 Portwood. If I haven't had that one, I don't think I have. Maybe I'll have to get my hands on that. Maybe even review it, because I love their 17 double wood. Not big on the 12 double wood, but that's probably just because I'm picky. 14 Caribbean, I actually liked it, but I know some people don't get into that. Pete Weeks loved 14 and 17. I think I had two of those. I'm trying to think. Oh, my favorite is the first fill sherry 15 Balvenie. That's like the best. That's awesome. I could drink that all day. Glenmorangie 12-year port finish was a good entry point. Malt. I liked it most of their $60-ish. Which one is the port finish, DHS? I'm trying to think of Glenmorangie having a port finish. What was the name? Are you talking about it wasn't the Quinta Bourbon, because that's more of like a hazelnut thing, I think, right? The La Santa is a sherry finish. The Net Noir is a Sauternes finish. I'm trying to think of which one's port. DHS, let me know what the name of that 12-year port finish you're talking about. Is it Quinta Bourbon? Oh, okay, yeah. The Quinta Bourbon is good. See, I didn't even know that was a port finish. I just, the way I remember it is that when I tasted it at a restaurant and I had it, and I was like, I already was a big fan of the La Santa because I love the sherry, strawberry, raspberry preserves kind of feel you get from that one. And when I tried to get to Bourbon, I was like, ooh, this is like hazelnut, like a chocolate hazelnut spread wafer. It had that kind of thing going on. I'm sure that the port helped that because it had like that raspberry compote kind of thing, that darker berry compote thing going on. But, Yeah, I love that 15 single sherry cask, man. The first fill ones are beautiful. It's unbelievably good. Yeah, the Kenta. Yeah, my bottle of sherry for the 15 first fill Balvenie that didn't last very long. I tell you what, though, this is. I mean, the Airiverde it's better than the Perpetuum. I think it's. I even like it. Don't tell anybody, but I actually like it better than the committee release of the drum, which is kind of sad. But it's just for complex, balanced flavors. I just get more. I think the darkness is needed here. That smoky darkness, savory note is needed. The drum has great qualities, but it just does not have that type of in the middle balance. It's a little bit on the more lighter, fruitier realm than this guy. But you know, I'm definitely going to drink both, and I'm going to enjoy every bit of it. Please give me a thumbs up before you guys go. If you do have to go, I appreciate it. It's tasty. The finish is smooth, just as smooth as the drum. It's got a not maybe as heavy on the mouth coat, but the smoke, chocolate, coffee notes linger quite a while. It's not as dry as the drum too, which I like. So, Does it have flaws? I mean, yeah, it could be older. It does have age in the taste, though. I will tell you that. Um, I really do dig the coffee / chocolatey notes to it, though, which is kind of one of a kind of this particular offering. I can't think of another Ardbeg offering that has that kind of feel to it. I'm looking back thinking about the different bottles, but it's definitely a 4.25. It doesn't need water, but let's add a couple of drops just to see what we get. Any differences, you never know. A couple drops. See how that goes. See, the smoke can handle so much, and then when you put the couple of drops in there, it opens it up even more. Now you're getting like these really big, candied, sugary gumdrops. All sorts of different flavors too. Love that. Thankfully, with a couple of drops, I don't lose my smoke or peat. Don't really get anything extra though, but maybe just tames the burns just a little smidgen. But it wasn't bad before. 49.9 is pretty sweet where it is. Really don't need it. I think it does help the nose a little bit though. Makes it more alive. Oh man, I can nose this all freaking day. Oh, Jonah says, "Are those? Look forward to the first bottling of Ardbeg." Yes, I've been following them on Twitter quite a while. Ardbeg as well. Ardbeg, unfortunately, I don't think is going to see the light of day. Don't quote me on it. Hunter Lang fought with Ardbeg initially over, I think, land or something. I don't know the details. I don't know the politics, but you know, it's sad not to see another Isla distillery pop up when we can get one. But if I can get Ardbeg like to release something, I think that would be pretty damn good. I am definitely looking forward to it. I'd love to see an inaugural release or some sort of like sample somehow. I know they're just too young to even release something yet. I think they're about a year away, if I had to take a guess. Maybe longer. I can't remember if they've already have gone into like production, or if they're still like building stills and stuff. I know they've been building stills and washes and all sorts of stuff, but I can't remember where they are on actually, making it. And it has to be 3 years minimum. So, but I am definitely looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to trying my first wolf burn. They've been around for a few years already. They've had a couple Aurora. They've had a couple NAS releases. They're very new. I haven't tried them yet, but I'm looking forward to giving it a try and seeing how it goes. Vegas says there's a Groove CR and Drum CR at a local shop. Which would you pick up? Wow, I would pick up the Grooves, Vegas. That's my palate. I love the charred smoke on the Grooves, and it's got some bright, kick-ass tropical like pineapple, mango, deeper fruits. The fruits are here with the drum, but they're very distant, subtle flavors. If you let's just put it this way. If you think that if you enjoy more of the subtle flavors, like trying to think of a good like Glenmorangie like 10 or Dalwhinnie 15, or if you're into like the Glenkinchie 12 or the let me think, subtle. Um, really light flavored scotch, you would enjoy the drum more. If you want pow, bam, you just got hit in the face with not just peat and smoke, but also the fruit, the smokiness, it's like a bonfire in your mouth. If you want that kind of deal, then you got to go for the Grooves. I would say it's very damn good. I gave the Grooves like a 4.5 to 4.75, if I remember correctly. It's definitely I think a better dram. DHS says he's never seen it in Maryland, VAP. Yeah, Chris, it's not available in Maryland, Virginia, or Pennsylvania till next week. I ordered mine from a different state. I'll just put it that way. I won't go into details, but I had to get it outside of those 3 states to get my hands on it now. But if you're patient enough to wait a week, you're going to see it pop up here in Virginia, especially next week. Maryland, I'm not quite sure, as I asked petite sellers, and they usually will hold a bottle, but he said his supply is probably so limited. He might only get 1 or 2 bottles, and he doesn't even know if he can hold it for me. So I don't. Maryland might be a wash, but Virginia is the best option. PA has an online only exclusive deal that they're doing. I know for fine wines. If you go to Fine Wines for Pennsylvania, you'll see it on their site, but you have to wait till it's available online. You can't get it anywhere else in Pennsylvania. It's easier to go to one of the Virginia-based stores to get your hands on it. I'm just telling you, because this is like my 3rd year doing this. I got the Kelpie and the Grooves CR the same exact way of going to Virginia and calling them every week until I knew that truck was going to have it, and doing it. Yeah, Pennsylvania sold out. But they're getting more, I've been told. Most likely, I don't know. I know Virginia is definitely getting theirs next week. That's for certain. That's for sure. No joke. So if you're in Virginia or can get to Virginia, be on the lookout for ABC stores to have this drum committee release. Then, if it's anything more than 120, don't pay it. It's not worth it. I'm just telling you for a fact. If it was Dark Cove, I would say it might be worth a couple $100, maybe even 3. But this one, it's good. It's worth maybe 1 to 120, but that is it. I wouldn't pay any more than that for it. It's just not worth it. If you do pay that kind of stuff for it, you're contributing to the secondary market, which is a pain in my ass, to be honest with you. So I'm all for supply and demand, but just to run up the prices for these crazy people that'll just throw this crazy money out there, it's just don't do it unless you have to. I'm telling you. please. Yeah, and Splendid says CR grooves all day. I'd probably buy both. Who am I kidding? Yeah, I'd probably get both too, but I would get the grooves before I would get this one, only because of the assertive flavors are there for the grooves. It's smokier. I just liked it better. Steven says you just saw artwork for a new Ardbeg release, the Trevant, I think is how you say it. Because the GH is probably silent. The BH is probably a soft V. So it'd be Trevant, I think, which will be an age-stated 19-year-old at 46.2. Holy moly, that would be awesome. Wow. Where do I get that, Steven? Sign me up if it's not $500. Oh, Lordy. See, I didn't even hear about that one coming up. No, that's probably their. They like to do these off the wall things. Like when they did Perpetuum that year, they also did the Dark Cove the same year. When they did Kildalton in 2014, they also did the Auriverdes. So they have like these ones for Fishel, which was the Auriverdes, and the Kildalton was like for a charity thing. I think the Perpetuum had a committee release too, though. But sometimes they do these off-the-wall things. Should be released later this year. Uses both ex-bourbon and ex-sherry. Oh, sounds like that's definitely my wheelhouse. I'll be there all day long if it's not $500. Holy moly. 19-year-old Ardbeg, at least $400 is my guess. THS. Yeah. That's scary. Most says maybe Kalila instead of Ardbeg 10 comparable to the peat smoke from the drum. Yeah, it does have that Kalila kind of peat to me more so than the Ardbeg 10, if that makes any sense. It's kind of strange, but oh man. But yeah, I'm glad that Auriverdes did not disappoint me. I was afraid because when I heard it was comparable to the Perpetuum, I was kind of like, ooh, this might not be up my alley. But I like the Perpetuum if I'm in the mood for a breakfast dram, Lagavulin 8 kind of thing. This Auriverdes is solid. I mean, it's got some really nice coffee, chocolatey bitterness going on, balanced with the sweetness. The peat smoke's still there. The age I still taste a little age in there, I think. It seems older, we'll put it that way. Maybe because it's been sitting around since 2014. That might have something to do with it, but I'm not sure. Let me show the one more dram. Trevant. 19-year-old, man, that's beautiful. Smoky pineapple, chili chocolate, aromatic wood smoke. F yeah. Oh man, that sounds right up my alley. The chili chocolate, that's like a Auriverdes sort of. The smoky pineapple is like a grooves kind of thing. So it's like a grooves meets Auriverdes. Aromatic wood smoke makes it even more complex. Wow. I like it, man. I like it. Where do I sign up? Guaranteed 19 years old, too, man. It's not even a guess. Please don't be $500. 225 to 300 is easier to digest than 5. That's for sure. Man, that is crazy. DHS says the Perpetuum came out about a year before the. That makes sense. I'm just trying to think of. That would be 20. So it's 2017, no, 18, 17, 16, 15. So Perpetuum would be 15. This would be 14. So, okay, so Drum is 2019. Grooves is 2018. Kelpie's 2017. Dark Cove's 2016. Perpetuum's 2015. Auriverdes is 2014. As is the Kildalton was 2014 as well. Ardbeg, I forgot when they released that guy. That was like, let's look it up real fast. Ardbeg is a great dram. Hard to find. Aftermarket's about 300. But I tell you what, guys, if you get your hands on it, it's actually really damn good. Average is 4.45 on average rating out of 70. So we're talking some good stuff. 52.1%. It's ex-bourbon and ex-mezzanilla sherry. Dry pheno, I think, is what that would be, if I'm remembering correctly. Acidic, dry, salty kind of thing, but very good. It was fantastic. Wish I still had another bottle of that. Let me think here. 2013 was Ardbeg, so that was even earlier. That's my oldest one, is the Ardbeg in 2013. Interesting. I guess 2014 maybe was the only year that they doubled up on. Huh. Then maybe this 19-year-old is just their next version of the 20-something. They're probably running out of the 20-something. Excuse me. They're probably running out of the 20-something, and they're probably thinking, well, what can we do? We started with 23, we had 22, we had 21. Now what do we do? And they're probably like, well, let's just change the name, change the format a little bit, get some different, I don't know, different casks of some sort, and let's go with a 19. 46.2, that's okay at least. I wish it was 48, but I'm not going to complain overly. If it's 19 years old and it's an Ardbeg, it can't be that damn bad. I know what I want for Christmas or birthday. Birthday comes first. So for in October, my birthday, I know what I want if it's available by then. $300 to $350 is expensive, though, man. Oh my God. Maybe I could talk somebody to getting something done somehow. I don't know. I have to be crafty with this one. Trevan, that sounds good. I wonder what it means. Trevan, I have to look it up. Let's look it up. Might as well, right? White Strand. Wonder why they picked White Strand. Oh, it's a place in Iona. I guess it's a Scottish place there. So they probably picked the name for just the area, not really for the translation of it being White Strand. Huh. It means you'll buy this because it's Ardbeg. Yeah, you got a point there, DHS. I'm not gonna fault you there. As you can tell, I'm definitely going back to 2013, and I'd love to get, like, I gotta get somehow Supernova, Galileo, Serendipity, Alligator, Lord of the Isles, which would be crazy. That's a lottery bottle right there. What else am I missing? I think I named all the ones I'm missing. I don't know if I want to go into like the almost there and the very young and all that crap, but I at least want to get the Alligator, Galileo, Serendipity, Supernova, those type of bottles. I'd like to get my hands on those eventually somehow. It's going to cost a freaking fortune probably, but I want to drink it. Damn it. I don't want to look at it. I want to drink it. And then I want to look at the box after I drink it. That's what I do, at least. So there you go. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. It's been fun as always. I appreciate y'all staying up with me, and we'll take a look at Stephen Connor. Sent a couple Glentronics that are just amazing. I can just tell by looking at them how amazing they are. I haven't even poured them yet, and I could just tell how good. It's just going to be insane. I need to get a bottle of the 8 as well, the Highland. I've had it before, and it's not normally released in America, but you can order it. It's not expensive. It's $30-$40. But the Glentronic 8 is so good. If you guys get your hands on it somehow, I'm going to have to get me another bottle of that some point too. But I want to get that new 15 Revival. Thanks so much, Steven, for the kudos. I really appreciate it, man. Without you guys, it would be no show. I'd be sitting here in my basement talking to the screen, I guess. But yeah, I've got a couple. Then all the Game of Thrones bottles, pretty much, except the Royal Lochnagar and the Dalwhinnie, which I'm still looking for. If you see any one of those for not crazy money, let me know. I appreciate it. It's telex@outlook.com, is by the way, to get a hold of me. And always looking for different things. So hope you guys have fun, and I will see you hopefully in the next one. But again, I think this was a good 4 with the water. And this was a good 4.25. Edged up a little bit. Sláinte mhath.